it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for September 2022. So on Friday, September 9th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information and communication, going retrograde at 8 degrees in Libra. Dun, dun, dun. So just to clear it up, Mercury retrogrades are nothing to fear. They are not bad. They give us a rest. They give us a pause. They give us a chance to reflect back, to revisit some ideas, some conversations, some information, to process it in a different way, to see it from a different perspective. It is a time of readjustment and recalibration. It is not a bad thing. It should not be feared. It is actually divinely scripted for our growth, for our improvement, for our realignment. So here's the thing. Mercury is going retrograde in Libran energy, in air sign, very focused on relationships, and will eventually backtrack into its place of power, into Virgo energy, in earth energy that is very focused on the details of our lives, analyzing the nitty-gritty in order to see what is broken, in order for us to fix it, to heal, to return to a state of wholeness. So we are going to have a couple of weeks in this Libran energy before slipping back into the Virgo energy on the 23rd of September. So we have a lot to cover. First of all, if you have not listened to September's energy forecast, the intro that I put out for the highs and the lows of all the astro events that we got going on, please listen to that. If you haven't listened to Venus moving into Virgo, which she just did on Monday, the 5th, please listen to that, because Venus moving into Virgo is setting us up for a huge amount of heart healing, physical healing, body and circumstantial healing in our physical lives. Mercury going retrograde is setting us up for some mental healing, some relationship healing. Hours before, we have our full moon in Pisces that's setting us up for some spirit, some soul, some emotional healing. They are all working together. They are all working in tandem. And the fact that Mercury is going to go retrograde, shutting down the lower level, logical, practical intellect in order for us to allow our intuition to lead just hours before this Piscean moon, which is all about our higher selves, our soul selves, our intuition, our spirituality, you best believe that things are going to get weird. So let's talk about it. First of all, we have Mercury shutting down, essentially drunk at the wheel. We have to put Mercury in the back seat in order for Mercury to kind of do its drunken drug slumber, where we get to kind of check out from this realistic realm, trying to sort everything out, trying to make sense of everything, and allowing some aha moments to actually take place with our intuition. So we have this confusion taking over our mental plane that, of course, impacts communication, our understanding, our perception. We have information coming back from the past in order for us to look at it with a different set of eyes. In this Libran energy, we're also very indecisive. This Libran energy is constantly on the fence, constantly trying to debate the pros and cons and left from right and up from down. And this is going to add to the confusion. Now, we definitely do not want to make any commitments. We don't want to sign on any dotted lines. We don't want to enter into any contracts if absolutely necessary. But this isn't a time to just stop living. This is just a time to start paying attention from a different level of our awareness, a different level of our perception. So while Mercury is kind of retrograde, with all the other planets that are retrograde, we are definitely looking back. We have to revisit the past in order to make sense of the present, in order to plan for the future. So we might be revisiting different topics and themes, different ideas, different opinions, different situations. And where this is in Libran energy, having a huge focus on relationships. If you are in a relationship that you should not be in, it will fall apart. If you are currently not in a relationship, you may have a past ex or past connection come back in order for you to reprocess what the connection was or what you desire a connection to be. This relationship aspect gets really kind of ruffled up. Again, keep in mind, Venus is in Virgo trying to heal our heart back to a state of wholeness, while our mental plane needs to analyze, see the relationship dynamics from a different perspective. We have to see where it is that the power exchanges in these relationships are out of whack and out of balance. This Libran energy restores balance, but we only find a happy middle ground by exploring the extremes. So we might have to review our plans. We might have to take another look at our relationships, at what it is that we're getting out of them, what it is that we want to do from here. This is a time where old conversations can come back that we thought we were done with in order to kind of hash things out once again. This is a time where we have to pay attention to our inner selves, our inner awareness, more so than the critical mind. The critical mind is the lower level intellect that Mercury rules over, and we're not doing so well piecing together all of the information, all of the details that are coming in. Sometimes things just don't make sense. So we have to rely on the way that they feel in order for us to gauge whether it's something we need to move closer to or move further away from. Now, there's always some chaos when a planet first goes retrograde and when it goes direct. This is when we're going to feel the bulk of the chaos, the bulk of the craziness. And then on September 23rd, which is pretty much the midway point between the retrograde period, we are going to have a little bump in to the sun. So Mercury and the sun come together, and this is definitely going to highlight a crossroads point, a decision point. But the fact that it's in Libra, again, we are super indecisive, constantly looking outside of ourselves for hints and clues on what it is that we need to do. So while Mercury is retrograde in this Libran energy, we're focused on communication, conversations, revisiting topics and themes that don't seem right, that don't seem fair, especially in our close relationships. Again, expect to feel confused, to feel torn, to feel on the fence about some choices and decisions that you definitely have to make. Again, we're going to be really grasping at straws to try and make sense of things, but Mercury in a retrograde does not make sense. We have to lean into our intuition in order for things to make sense, I'm going to say, in our feels, more so in the logical, practical realm of our minds. So there is going to be a tug of war. We're bouncing back and forth between the choices, between the decisions, between the past, between the directions, and we're really having to focus on rethinking about our position, about our relationships, about conversations, about our thoughts, about our feelings, and it can be very overwhelming at times. So when we finally hit the halfway mark and have this, run in with the sun, this is when the energy kind of shifts. It's when we start processing a little bit faster because the sun, of course, illuminates, shines a bright light on what is the most important. And we start kind of sorting through our thoughts and feelings in a different way. We're starting to look at the things that have been broken or the things that have been a problem, and we're looking to fix that, setting us up for a brand new perspective, a brand new understanding that when we shift into the Virgo energy, that we get to work on trying to fix it. So I've been saying in these forecasts, whatever falls apart, well, Mercury's retrograde in Libra, you can expect to be put back together in a better way and solved and resolved in this Virgo energy, because Mercury's in its place of power in Virgo. And even though Mercury's still retrograde, there's a little bit more detail coming in, a little bit more focus. We are tweaking things. We are readjusting, realigning, redefining what it is that we want. And even though we're still very much focused on the past, we're bringing it into the present moment. There are things that we can do in the present moment to resolve issues in the past, clean the space and clean the slate for us to go ahead and start building new elements moving into the future. But what we're currently confused about as far as our future goes, we can find the answers in our past. This is why, I've been saying we're in a time where we literally have to go back to the future. We have to look back in order to gain perspective on how to move ahead. So this is going to be quite a time. Think in perspective of elements. We are all in the headspace, confused, new information, new processing, new conversations, new ideas that are coming up from looking at old ideas, old conversations, old positions with this Libran energy. And then we move into the Virgo energy, the earth energy ruled over by Mercury, the headspace, which means that we're able to actually tangibly take action, make moves, figure things out, solve those problems when the Virgo energy kicks in. So pay attention to your inner thoughts. Pay attention to what's coming up. Pay attention to the people, the places, the things that are coming back from a past element into the present moment, and see what it's trying to teach you as far as your future plans go.